Report, the Real Talk Radio Show.
I want to get into in a little bit here about Bob and what he's writing about the Cott Report and gold commercials and all that other stuff. But let's roll some calls here because I don't want you fine folks holding on the line too long. First up, Henry in Connecticut. Hello, Henry. Henry? Henry! Okay, keep him on hold. Give me Guy in Arkansas. Hello, Guy. How you doing? Do I have Guy? Guy? Hello?
Oh, there you are. I didn't hear that little clicking noise that I'm used to.
There we go.
Yeah, I think that was the problem with your last caller there. Hopefully he's holding on.
Well, hopefully he is.
Gentlemen, Joyce Riley had on her show an interesting gentleman on this morning. His name was Bill Joe Malden, and he states that all of the banks, all the central banks are owned by the UN, and that means that the Federal Reserve is owned by the UN, and therefore the UN, basically through the money system, owns and operates the United States. Now, interesting, John, that I don't think I've ever heard this come out of your guest on Monday. I forget the gentleman's name offhand. But,
Ron McDonald?
Ron McDonald, yes. I don't think that I've heard him mention anything of this, and he might not be aware of that. But
well, and we're assuming here that what was his name? Billy what?
Billy Joe Malden, Mauldin.
And that's assuming that Billy Joe Malden's information is correct. Bob, let me ask you this. Do you think the UN is owning these people and controlling them?
No. I think the UN is controlled by others, such as the royal families of Europe, better known as the Black Nobility, the Illuminati, and many other organizations which are all cooperating with one another. The Bank for International Settlements is the banker's bank. And they really dictate to that creature, the IMF, which was created by the United States after the Second World War. And so it's an integral part of it. Who cares who owns what? They're all bad guys, and we've got to change it.
Well,
and so
I'm sorry, Bob.
I don't see the significance.
According to
and besides, I don't know whether it's true or not. I've never heard it before.
Yeah, Guy, what you were saying?
According to him, in 1933, when, yes, I am a really card-carrying communist, Roosevelt made a public law, I believe it's 192 or 193, something like that, that it was in that law that he sold over the U.S. to the World Bank and therefore onto the UN. And, of course, Bob, you're probably right. I think it's a flip-flop situation here that it's a mirror image. When you're looking at one, you're really looking at the other, and they're so intertwined that it probably doesn't matter one way or the other. And thanks for the time, John, and I'll let you go and hear all your comments off there. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you, Guy.
Thank you.
Yeah, Bob, there has been a lot of catfighting about who's controlling whom. There have been organizations and groups of people that do certain works, and they are all interconnected. That is for sure. The bankers and the brain trusts out there, the 501c3 foundations. I mean, if you look at it, the Ford Foundations, if you look at the CFR, all of these organizations within the State Department itself. Did you guys know that there are over 5,000 employees in the State Department that's connected, and they're doing business for the realm worldwide? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't know, and they all have been pushing, once the bill of goods have been sold, for world government. And that's just easier for the transnational corporations and the governments and to modify the laws to allow world trade to go on. You know, I mean, all that is all true. And I've heard of Billy Joe Malden before, but I've you know, if that information is incorrect, that leads people to the wrong conclusions and down the wrong paths. I mean, it's the bankers that own everything and everybody anyhow, and they're all going to do their bidding. just like the United States Congress is doing right now, Barack Obama and all of his little czars. They're all down with it.
Israel lobby controls America.
AIPAC.
Look, it's beyond all. There's not a shadow of a doubt about it. I mean, all you got to do is go to my webpage and look at there's 3 stories on my webpage today that prove beyond all reasonable doubt that Israel controls America. Representative Mike Pence, in an interview on Christian Broadcasting Network, said Israel should dictate U.S. policy.
Well, and who have you seen? Lieberman and the likes.
Then you got that other bimbo, Michelle Bachmann, who said America is cursed by God if we reject Israel.
Well, her name is Bachmann. What else did you want her to say?
And then for my double bimbo, and I use that term, I've got a few nasty emails for referring to
Sarah
Palin as a bimbo.
Yes.
But if you look up the English dictionary of the interpretation of the bimbo, you'll find that it accurately describes her. I could call her constitutionally challenged, but she goes to appear at, think about this, she goes to a Tea Party convention wearing an Israeli-American flag on a lapel pin.
Well, and ironically, there is a story up on republicbroadcasting.org with plenty, and folks, you know, we're not sitting here just throwing stuff out and thinking, the people will never check it out. No, go check it out. This is what we want you to do. Robbie, you just made a lot of people up in Alaska to listen to this program very unhappy because they're all in love with Sarah Palin.
I know.
And she is not presidential material. She wasn't vice presidential.
At least I didn't call her a retard.
Well,
is she really a retard?
Look, she's the best-looking politician that's come along in a long time. I think we can all
wait a
agree with
minute now. Scott Brown is a hunk.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm starting to
You're
worry
wrong,
about.
and I don't know.
Robbie, I'm starting to worry about Bob. Let's go back to the phones, guys. Do we have Henry back? Do we have Henry? Let's try
Henry
it.
from Connecticut.
Henry from Connecticut. Henry, are you there? He must have put the phone down, or
He might have passed away.
I almost slipped when I said that, but thank you, Bob, for completing my thought. Bob in Nebraska. Hello, Bob.
John?
Yes, there you are.
Hello. Hi. John?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How you guys doing? I love your show.
Thank you.
I just had a couple of quick questions. One is the Federal Reserve. Do they pay taxes on that money that we send them, or what? And also for Bob, if he has anything new on the Pat Kiley.
Pat Kiley.
Well, if you were a subscriber, you would see each week we have a thing called the Ongoing Saga. Mm-hmm. And we have all kinds of information that's been coming out over the past several months. His partner, Trevor Cook, is in jail on contempt charges. And there's a grand jury that is in process. The culprits, those two and others, refuse to tell government where all the money is, the $190 million. And I suppose they'll end up in jail where they belong.
Okay. Well, I just...
As far as the feds are concerned, all the money that they make, they deduct their expenses, and then they pay the remainder back to the federal government to go in the general fund. What's so onerous about this right now is that they are lending money to financial institutions at, and they won't tell us what the rate is, but it's probably 0.5 of 1%. And then they're taking the money back on deposit, and they won't tell us what they're giving for that, but my guess is about 2.5%. And so the banks lending financial companies are making a 2% with no risk on money that they borrowed. And that money would have normally gone to the Treasury Department in behalf of the American people. And that's not the case.
Where'd you get the $190 million to begin with?
25,000 came from me.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
I can see you're not a subscriber. I called everybody and tried to get them out.
Well, Bob, I was a subscriber a couple of years ago, but I let it lapse. I've been wanting to get him.
That was an expensive lapse, my son.
Yes, it was. Well, it goes.
Out of 155 people, I got 115 out of their deal. The rest of them wouldn't listen.
And you were one of them, Bob.
Yeah. Well, hey, guys, I got to run. Thank you very much and love your show.
All right, thanks. Appreciate your call. So where the hell did they get the $190 million?